When you write out the word 33, it sums to 66. This number we're talking about connected to Freddie Gray and more. When you write out 33 the big way, it sums to 156. And the shooting in the headlines just before the death of Freddie Gray was the death of Walter Scott in South Carolina. Look at the name gematria of Walter Scott, 156. And that story came out of South Carolina, which also has gematria of 156. When you write out 33, it sums to 156. What all these numbers come back to, Truth Seeker, is God. These are all tributes by the Masons to God, but I think when they give tributes to the Masons, they're really giving them to Satan. And we'll talk more about that. But there is a rhyme and a reason for all these numbers coded into these stories and why they show up again and again. I need help, the big way, sums to 156. The small way in the beginning, we talked about how it sums to 51. The big way, 156. I recently did a video on how Michael Jackson died 156 days after Obama became president and was taken to Ronald Reagan Medical Center, who died on the 156th day of the year. Please check out my video on Michael Jackson if you haven't seen it. Freddie Gray, at the time of his death, was 25. The officer who's being now accused for the wrongdoing in the back of the van was also 25 at the time. 25 is a number that has gematria of 149, connecting to Skull and Bones, the Masonic order, which often has their trademarking in these stories as well. Skull and Bones, the Masonic order that puts rich kids in high places. Presidential offices, executive offices, congressional offices. Also, Truth Seeker, that name Freddie in Jewish gematria sums to 113, another number coded into the majority of these hoaxes. The Michael Brown story had 113 coded all over it. He was shot in front of the Cantfield Green apartments, which had gematria of 113. The number was also coded a number of other ways. Anyhow, notice the words mainstream, dishonest, and green screen all have gematria of 113, a number they love to code, a number that shows up again and again. From the date Freddie Gray was arrested to the date of the Charleston church shooting, 66 days apart. Again, these stories very much connected. Notice that's also 9 weeks and 3 days. The shooter, Dylan Stormroof, they put out his information. He was born April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year. The word propaganda equals 93, another number that gets coded often. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, people with 93 name gematria. MLK gave his last speech on April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year. All numbers of significance. From the date Freddie Gray died to the date of the Charleston church shooting is a span of 59 days. This is another number coded on black Americans very negatively. Negro, slave, blues, all equal 59. Motown Records came out in 59. In Jewish gematria, the kill number is 59. No coincidence here. This is all how they sync up their propaganda that is waged against us. We talked about Rodney King. Rodney King, the small way, equals 59. Rodney King, the big way, equals 122, a number connected to Freemason. Notice that Rodney King would die on the date of the Charleston church shooting at the age of 47. And the numbers most heavily coded into the church shooting were 47 and 74, these highly Masonic numbers. His birthday is also 4-2, April 2nd. Remember, nigger equals 42. See how it's been done, Truth Seeker? The Zionists, their favorite number, 47. Those who think less of everybody around them and actively have us all fighting amongst each other over nothing. Freddie Gray's family was supposedly given a $6.4 million settlement. I know this is bullshit because Freddie Gray doesn't have a family. There is no Freddie Gray. And the reason they chose this number is for the following reason. Civil rights equals 64. The Civil Rights Act happened in 64. The first black president elected as the 44th president 44 years after the Civil Rights Act, Barack Hussein Obama, has name gematria of 64. Keep in mind, 44 is the kill number in simple English gematria. Also, California and Maryland are the only states with 88 gematria. Think about the Rodney King riots after the police were acquitted, more than a year after the beating. The same thing might happen in Maryland if the police are acquitted this December 17th. The Rodney King riots broke out April 29th, the 119th day of the year. Show you what's up here with the current trial, Truth Seeker. They've been focusing on Officer William Porter. They're saying this is who might be responsible for what happened to him that led to his death in the back of the van. Officer William Porter has gematria of 116, or 911 upside down. Notice that Porter has gematria of 38, like the word death. William has gematria of 34, like the word murder. Officer is a word with 44 gematria, like the word kill. So often when police officers die in these stories, their age is 44. We saw that most recently in the Planned Parenthood shooting hoax. 44-year-old officer with a 33 name. The state's attorney, Michael Schatzo, has this same name gematria of 116, all coded actor agent names. The doctor providing the testimony, Dr. Carol Allen, very suspicious gematria, makes me think hoax, 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 which it is. They mention these other names. They say if Caesar Goodson, the officer, had just driven straight to the hospital sooner, Freddie Gray could have been saved. Anyhow, this trial began November 30th, and here's why it began that date, Truth Seeker. November 30th, 2015, a date with 76 numerology, which is a special number to the city. Baltimore's on the 76th meridian. That start date is also 33 weeks and 1 day after he was first arrested. And notice also the span of 232 days. The word Satan in Jewish gematria equals 232. Caesar Goodson has the gematria of 55, which is what Satan equals in simple English gematria. These are numbers they love to code. Remember, these people, these Masons, these Zionists, this is what they worship. They worship themselves. They worship Satan. To me, Satan's just a metaphor for selfishness. There's a reason they code this stuff. There's a reason they space things out as they do, as I have showed multiple times already in this video. Also, Truth Seeker, when Freddie Gray protests were going on, the big phrase was no justice, no peace, which has gematria of 76. Perfect for the city, perfect for the start date of the trial. So we'll see what happens. If there's no justice, if nobody's held accountable, there might very well be more riots and no peace. The police spokesman for this was Captain Eric Kalizik. Name gematria of 76. What else? The woman, the attorney general for the state, her name is Marilyn Mosby, having name gematria of 67, the reflection of 76. Her name is identical to the word Freemasonry. Her full name has gematria of 88, like Maryland. Her birthday, too, Truth Seeker, really stands out. January 22nd, 122. Remember how Rodney King equaled 122? Not only is she born on that date, it has a numerology of 122, which is what Freemason equals with the Francis Bacon method. Another number we've seen a lot, especially this past year. The trial's set to end December 17th, a date with 64 numerology, a very special number to the police department. It makes me think that the police officers will be acquitted. Also, a date with 44 numerology, like the word officer, also like the word kill. And this woman with the MM initials, M's the 13th letter in numerology, 13 becomes 4. 1 plus 3 is 4, MM 44. So a lot of synchronicities here. We'll see if they are acquitted or if they are held guilty. If they are acquitted, I suspect there'll be more antics, all part of the plan. Baltimore police happens to have gematria of 74, like Masonic, a number that shows up around police departments a lot. If you go back and see my other videos, I covered all the angles of this, including the story of the mom beating her son that CNN made headlines out of for multiple days. Remember that son's name was Michael Singleton. Look at the name. Summing to 76. Another 33. This is how they do it, Truth Seeker. Again and again. So that's the message. Hope you learned something new. Start applying gematria to these headlines and you'll see as I see. Until next time.